Hey there guys, and welcome back to Alex Invest. For those of you who don't know, I'm Alex. I'm a business owner with a degree in economics, and today the markets are a little bit mixed, which is a little bit surprising because of stimulus news yesterday. Yesterday in the markets on Monday, we did see a little bit of a red day to start off because Congress had not yet passed that stimulus bill, which has now been passed. It was passed later on Monday, and the stock market did actually recover from there and almost end up even at the end of the day. But today is interesting because the markets are still mixed, although stimulus news has been passed. But I think a big reason to this is because the stimulus package was such a small one for individuals, and it's likely not going to be enough for the economy, meaning there will have to be a third stimulus check later on. But anyways, today I wanted to talk to you guys again about Exro Technologies. Yesterday on the 21st of December, they did come out with news on their battery control system, which used to be called their Intelligent Battery Management System, and they have now changed that. This is something that I've mentioned quite a lot in my videos, and that I think that this will be a big development for them and will bring them to that next level. So we're gonna go through that today. We're gonna go through some price targets as well, and finally what I am doing. All right, so we'll start off with this battery control system. I mentioned in my last video that Exro should be coming out soon with some information on this because they did say that their proof of concept would be in Q4 2020, and that's exactly what we saw yesterday. They did come out with validation for their BCS, which is their battery control system. And basically what it does is it gives a battery the capability of having a second life after its first one, because they are able to take individual cells in the battery and optimize them and choose which ones they want to use, because they have that greater control on the cells within a battery with this new battery control system technology. Each cell can now be optimized to do exactly what it needs to give that battery a second life, and to also make sure that it still runs properly and has similar capabilities of the battery in the first life. Now, with this battery control system, as I've mentioned with the IBMS before, in videos before, right, they're able to regulate the current in the grid going through the battery. They're also able to charge and discharge at the cell level, aka they can choose which cells they would like to use within that battery. And they can also manage each individual cell with different states of charge or for essential optimization. They will also be looking to take this technology and put it into operation in 2021. So I could see this somewhere in Q2 2021, like their timeline has said. Again, we got to look back to this timeline here for a second, and you'll see it right here, right? They have so far stuck to everything they are saying they are doing, including this here. They said Q4 2020, they will come out with news on the Intelligent Battery Management System, which is now called the Battery Control System. And they did, and everything else they've done so far has been on their timeline said, and they've done it, and they're going to continue to do that. So we can look at their timeline and see exactly at what time really they're going to bring out news on something, which is nice because it shows that this company isn't only all talk, but we can trust them to execute the plan that they have set out in place. And that is very important, I think, because it also shows that we are guaranteed for growth moving forward as long as they continue to hit those targets, which so far there's no worries of them doing. Now, I think it's also important to mention that Sue Ozdemir, that is the CEO of Exro, has said that this technology validation is a great first step in our path to advancing battery control in energy storage applications, which this is important because she says it's their first step, and you can see that from the information they had on their intelligent battery management system. It seems that they really are just starting the validation here, and there's much more to come moving forward. So it's great to see them starting somewhere here, but again, in a few years down the road, this technology is going to be so much more advanced and so much bigger than it is now, and that's really what I'm waiting for, and which gets me very excited for the future of this battery control system technology, but also Exro as an entire company. And again, they're in that growth space because of their technology for EVs with this battery control system, as well as their coil drivers, obviously. But the second life lithium ion battery industry by itself is also one that is growing heavily. And of course, this is partly due to the fact that the whole industry of EVs and clean energy is growing, but also to do with the growth of this specific industry. It currently has a compound annual growth rate of 23.1% between 2021 and 2030. So there's much potential for growth here, and I do see that moving forward. A lithium ion battery usually isn't worth recycling, and that is a big problem I think that this industry specifically faces, because what do you do with all those batteries that are now useless and can't really be recycled because there isn't much lithium or other important elements in a battery that are worth recycling? So this second life application is going to be very big for this specifically. And obviously we see this industry growing in the next 10 years, right? But think about the next 40, 50 years here. And sure, that is very far down the road. But that's when we are going to start to see the new EVs now be recycled, or perhaps earlier, of course. But because of that, in that time, there's going to be so many more of these EVs batteries as we move through this industry and grow in this industry. All right, now I just wanted to mention Haywood as well yesterday just upped their price target on Exro Technologies from $6 to $8. And of course, it's a buy from them and it's a buy from me as well. I actually have a slightly higher price target on the stock at about $10 in the next 12 months. And Haywood, that's $8 in the next 12 months, right? And I do agree with everything they say here. They talk about how Exro is transitioning from a proof of concept phase, right, into a development phase. And we are seeing exactly that. Of course, they still have some of their proof of concept phase going, like for example, their battery control system really has just passed the proof of concept or the validation phase, right? But their coil driver is basically going to be in use in 2021, and we're already seeing those applications come to fruition with the e-bikes they were doing and with the e-motorcycles they are doing now already. And the electric vehicles are soon to follow here, as well as the electric fleets, and we talked about all this in my last video, so you can go check it out right up here. But two other things that they mentioned that are also very important is there's a large addressable market for Exro, and this is also something I've mentioned before about their coil driver and about their BCS, and that's because they have the entire EV market here that they could potentially work with. And of course, as the EV industry grows, Exro grows along with that, as long as they get these partnerships and deals with companies. But they already have a lot, and I've mentioned them in my videos before, so again, you can go check those out. But the total addressable market by 2027 is expected to be over $800 billion, and I actually think it's going to be a little bit higher than that as well again. So there's so much room to grow, and the amount of room to grow just grows as this whole industry grows, right? So that is one of the reasons why I do have a slightly higher price target, and the obviously scalability of this technology, right? Once it's proven and once they start putting it into EVs, especially their coil driver, all they really have to do is manufacture in order to meet demand. And other than that, it fits in all the EVs, and the technology does what it's supposed to do, so Xtro can then just start raking in the profits, right? All right, so now I just wanted to get into the chart with you guys here. First, I wanted to show you the essentially 1.5 month chart here, right? Because we come up, right, from the $2.9 all the way up to the 5, and now we're hanging around that 4.2 to 4.7 mark, right? And what's interesting about this is if we look at a bigger picture here, this is all just consolidation here still, right? Little bit of ups, little bit of downs, but soon after this period of consolidation, we're going to see another uptrend big in the market. I mean, we can see here, right? This is the run we just talked about, up to here, up to 5, right? And then consolidation. But before that, we saw the same thing, right? We were down at the 1.6. We had the big run up, and then consolidation for basically a month and a half here, right? And then after that period of consolidation, another huge spike up, right? And here we are again, consolidation, and then eventually we're going to see another huge spike up here. And of course, these ones were because of news, right? But now zooming in a little bit, this was from the battery control system validation update that we got, right? We saw we went from 4.4 to 4.7, and we may see it come down a little bit from here, but again, it's that validation of new technology which does drive the price of this stock, because like I mentioned, we still are in that prototype phase, that validation phase, and we're moving now into that production phase. And that's why when we do see that, again, beginning to mid of 2021, the stock price is going to shoot up. And that's why it's still a good time to buy shares. Will I buy shares in this stock today? Probably not. I do have a target where I'm looking to pick up more shares at the 4.6 dollar level, so watch out for that one. All right guys, so that's gonna do it for the video today. I hope you guys liked it. If you did, please like, subscribe, and leave me a comment as always. And other than that, I hope you guys have a fantastic day, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.